Hey everyone, I hope all of you are doing well. I'm Charlita. All right, we're gonna do this. I wanted to talk to you guys about this topic of growing up sheltered, and as you can see, I am nervous about this. I wanted to talk about growing up sheltered and how it impacted me as an adult. Please be kind in the comments. I'm not really sure if I'm going to post this or how long I'm going to actually leave this video up, because frankly, some of this stuff, it is kind of embarrassing. So please keep that in mind when you are commenting. Should I do this? Should I decide to post this? So let's just get right into it. So first, I just want to acknowledge that I love both of my parents and I am extremely grateful for them. I grew up in a very strict religious household. I know that I've mentioned this in other videos, as many of you know. My parents were very controlling regarding who I was friends with and all of my social activities. For example, I was not allowed to participate in such activities as school dances, parties, and I did not go to prom because I was not allowed to. As a small child, I did not realize the difference at first, and I would say that I was a fairly happy child. But as I got older, I started realizing the differences. So my parents, they controlled how I dressed. There was very little room for self-exploration or self-expression. So I cope with all of this by just doing art. I was really into drawing, and I would say that I was very quiet, and I would spend a lot of time to myself just drawing. And because I spend so much time drawing and everything, I became very good at it. And in fact, around the time when it was time for me to go to high school, I had auditioned to get accepted into this art high school that had a magnet art program. And this was something that you had to audition for. So I put together a portfolio of my artwork based off of the criteria that was set forth that we had to include, and I was accepted. So I was very happy because I felt like for the first time I had found my tribe, if you will. And it was a school that had other talented artists. I'm sorry, I'm doing a lot with my hands. And that's because for some reason I'm kind of nervous about posting this, so just bear with me. And I was very happy around this time. And then after 2 years of being in the program, my grandfather got sick and we had to move to Florida to help my grandmother. So of course, you know, I was very devastated by this news, and I had to, because at the time we lived in Baltimore, and then when my grandparents, when they had retired, they moved to Florida. So we had to go to Florida to be with them. So I had to finish my last 2 years of high school where I had no friends, and my parents were still, you know, very strict and controlling. And I would say that for a while I did resent my parents. And around this time, I know that I couldn't wait to get my driver's license and graduate so that I could get out of the house. So fast forward to me graduating high school. I was not allowed to go to an out-of-state college. And for a long time, I went back and forth with settling on what I wanted to major in. And I want to say that I believe I changed my major like at least 3 or 4 times. And I really wanted to do artwork. That was what I was passionate about. But no one was really supportive of that. So eventually I settled on getting a degree in business administration. And later on, I would eventually get my master's in public administration. So just in general, growing up sheltered, it made me lack confidence in myself, and I became a people pleaser. All I wanted to do was to please my parents, and I always had this feeling that people were watching me. And I was raised that, you live to serve God, and you find a good man, settle down, and get married. And that's what I knew. My grandparents were married, and they were together right up until my grandfather passed away. And my parents are still together to this day. So growing up sheltered and having limited exposure, when I actually was free from the shelter of my parents and outside of that religious bubble, I made so many poor choices, and I just was extremely naive. And so many people, took advantage of me because they could easily tell that I was sheltered. So in my 20s, I made a lot of mistakes and just poor choices. And I was not the best at choosing people, frankly, who should be in my life. Everything I did strive to be extremely perfect at it. And I took failure really, really hard. And I was just hard on myself in general. And so for this part, I am going to leave out some details to respect my kids' privacy. I will say that I did eventually get married in my 30s to a person that I had been with since I was in my mid-20s, which that marriage was a complete disaster. I'll just leave it at that. And just most of my 30s in general was a disaster, quite frankly. When I was approaching 40, it was kind of like this light bulb just kind of went off. And I realized that I was not living my life. I was living the life that other people wanted for me. And I was just miserable. I did not know what I wanted to do, but I knew that I did not want to die, and never having had the opportunity to discover myself and to live a life that was on my terms. So now everything kind of comes full circle to today. And this is kind of what this channel has been all about, which is me documenting my journey of starting over in my 40s. So today, I'm 44, and I have had to accept that my upbringing definitely impacted me. And through therapy, I have been able to work through many of these issues. And I'm still a work in progress, but I will say that I am proud of the progress that I made. And I look at a lot of the mistakes as life lessons. And I'm just grateful for everything that happened to me, because had I not experienced a lot of that stuff, it would not have shaped me to be the person that I am today. And, I just have boundaries now. And before, just anybody could come into my life. But now, no, not just anyone can just come in. I don't put up walls. I have doors. And I've learned a lot of lessons, and my sheltered upbringing has definitely impacted the way that I am with my kids, and the fact that I give them room to discover themselves. And I've been able to understand and accept my upbringing, and to use it as a tool for personal growth. So, if this is something that you can relate to, I would love to hear your story or just your thoughts in general. And I wish all of you the best, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.